Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why they say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
What is up, everybody? Tonight we are starting on Just Pearly Things, but it's only going to be part one tonight. Miss Pearly Things is going to be a multi-stream subject. I can tell you that right now. So I'm going to play my last song. Put ones in the chat if you're hype. She is actually my most favorite female misogynist. So make sure you put ones in the chat for your hype. And you know what this last song means. Go get what you got to go get. Go get your snack. Go get your drinks. Go get your smoke. Do what you got to do. Let's go.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad. I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad. Doing no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad. Baby, I'm bad.
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad, shit on my shoulder cause they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take that, stay back, I'll be swinging hard till it hits, coming in all caps. I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help me, ain't nobody like that. I ain't gonna wait, that's all fact, give me one shot and I'll never get it thrown back. I'm sick of being cautious, I'ma go cause something, can't stop this. I'ma steal everybody's name, call it shoplift. Sick of hearing everyone complain when they thoughtless. Taste the pain, it's like candy canes. It makes me go change into a better frame, into a better name. Society's the same, we all live for fame. Yeah. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad. I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad. Do it no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad. Baby, I'm bad. no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, city intact. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad.
What is up, everybody? How are y'all doing? How are we doing tonight? Are we doing good? Are we doing good? I'm tired. I am still trying to fix the sleep schedule. I am like super sleepy right now, but I'm in the middle of trying to edit a video and yeah, getting a bunch of other stuff done. And now I got just pearly things to talk about. We got mysterious to talk about. I'm doing the Charleston White to talk about. Yeah, so a lot of subjects and a lot of things to do. I hope everybody is doing good, though. I hope everybody's doing good. So, put a 1 in the chat if you know who JustPearlyThings is. If you do not know who she is, put a 2. Put a 1 in the chat if you know who JustPearlyThings is. 2 in the chat if you don't know who she is at all. Alright. Well, she is a multifaceted person, and oh my god. I don't know the best way to put this. Trash talker. Yeah. Alright, so what I did was I pulled up this article from the Insider, and granted it is the Insider, but I pulled up this article from the Insider, and then what we're going to do is we're going to watch a video by brittanyventi. Now, normally brittanyventi, I am not usually aligned with brittanyventi, but she did an excellent video on JustPearlyThings. She did an absolute excellent video on JustPearlyThings. So let's get through this article, and I want to tell you a little bit that the Insider doesn't tell you. All right. So as Andrew Tate languishes in jail, and this was written on March 22nd of this year, a new celebrity anti-feminist creator is filling the gap. Unlike him, she's a woman. Hannah Pearl Davis, known as Just Pearl, is booming in popularity with a brand of anti-feminist content that lands differently since she is a woman herself. Davis, who is 26, saw her YouTube audience grow 50% in the 3 months since Tate was detained. Per the analytics tool Social Blade, her subscriber base jumped from around 800,000 to 1.3 million. Now, mind you, she was at 800,000, okay? That's still not small, all right? And she rose up to 1.3 million. She has increasingly been nicknamed the female Andrew Tate, including by critics who consider her the latest celebrity misogynist. Her podcast, The Pregame, sees Davis debate with criticized feminists, praise Tate's teachings, and presents herself as a rare champion for a male point of view. Yeah, rare, all right. Pick me energy. That's all I'm going to say on that one. Unlike Tate, Davis does not consider herself a misogynist, telling Insider via direct message that I don't hate women. Yeah. Instead, she argued criticism of her work as the inevitable backlash now that finally there is a form of media that advocates for men, as well as ready YouTube audience, which viewed her videos some 200 million times since December. Davis regularly goes viral on TikTok. Their videos with the hashtag JustPearlyThings have over 300 million views, making headway on the platform where Tate sound bites often find their most receptive audience. Here she is. A lot of you guys are shitty wives, Davis says in her recent video, viewed 3.2 million times, blaming infidelity on a woman's looks and behavior. You don't cook for your man, you belittle him, you nag him all the time, you don't treat him like a man. In several follow-up videos, Davis responds to the negative criticism she's attracted and doubles down on her views. Are Western women, you notice that, right? Western women? Who else complains about Western women? Typically known as good wives, she asks. Are they sought after all over the world? Or are men getting their passports and going elsewhere? And she grew up in Chicago, Illinois, in a 10-bedroom home with her 9 siblings and parents, software entrepreneurs Dan and Jennifer Davis. She comes from money. She's 26 years old and comes from money. She doesn't understand how it is to be a normal working class person that is married and has kids. But she loves to give that marriage advice. We'll see in the video. Let's see. This goes into her relationship with Onea D'Amelio, which you'll see in the video. And yeah, she's one of those. She's the one, like, the one that I always talk about is when she was talking to a group of ladies and they were talking about abuse in a relationship. And she was like, well, when it comes down to it, it's the woman's fault. Because the woman didn't pick the man correctly. And they were like, what? Everything's the woman's fault. Everything. And she does the same old Tate tactic. And the same old tactic that manosphere does. When everything boils down to it, anything that goes wrong, it's the woman's fault. So, yeah. The one thing this article doesn't really touch on. Now, you notice she had 800,000 subscribers before she hit that 1.3 million. The article is half right. She was the last person to interview Tate before he went to jail. Okay? She actually started gaining relevance in the black manosphere when Kevin Samuels died. She started off doing reacts to rap videos, rap music. She would do reacts to Abba and Preach and stuff like that. And then she would go towards, to me, I think she saw that the manosphere was the way to go to get money, and she started going in that direction. And now she's actually having a problem with that manosphere because, and we're going to watch it eventually. She had an interview with Nick Fuentes. Yes, Nick Fuentes. Good old Nick Fuentes. And she didn't push back on anything that he said. Anything. And she made some comments about slavery and then on top of that, not pushing back on him, that has gotten her in trouble over there. And they're having a whole bunch of conversation about her over there. Okay, a whole bunch of conversation over there, and I'm going to show you that a little bit, not tonight, but I will show y'all that at a later time. Because again, like I said, this isn't just going to be one stream about just pearly things. So, what we're going to do is we're going to watch The Discount Female Andrew Tate by brittanyventi. Really good video. Really good video. I actually like this video very much. So, let's get to it. Makes so much sense now that I know she's from Illinois, the shithole of the Midwest. Yeah, they ain't got nothing to do with it. Come on now.
Oh, that.
All right, you gotta go, man. You gotta
Come on,
go.
James,
You gotta go. You're wild.
That 10K viewers.
This might be your platform, but respect people when they come on your platform.
Okay, goodbye. Go.
Call everyone bro. So that's what she's.
That woman, okay, so I watched this one. That woman was ready to throw down on her. That woman was so ready to throw down on her, it was hilarious.
Get out. Get out of my apartment. Get out.
That clip you just watched is of Hannah Pearl Davis, a 26-year-old YouTuber, the latest addition to the manosphere, often referred to as the female Andrew Tate. Pearl runs a YouTube channel centered around the manosphere, hosting some of the classiest women our society has to offer.
Right, let's go there. You want to go back in the past and embarrass yourself again? You don't scream. What you want?
She actually owns a whole network of YouTubers. I think it's called the Just Pearly Network or something like that. And there's actually talks on how she does her contracts, and it's not very good. And she got a little copyright strike happy too. So yeah.
Pearl's channel is heavily inspired by Kevin Samuels and Fresh and Fit.
Women in general, especially in the United States, England, whatever it may be, are not held accountable for their poor decisions.
Men are trash. That's common in society, right? Women are trash isn't. Men are held accountable all the time, every day.
All these women are born with value. They're pretty already. As a man, if you don't make yourself valuable, you have no value.
Women are born with value. Men must create their value. A guy doesn't lose his value just because he picks the wrong woman.
You see that? She's copying viewpoints. She's copying viewpoints. She has no thoughts of her own. They need to call her the female Sneeko. That's who they need to call her.
Just men are attracted to youth, beauty, and fertility. It's been that way since the beginning of time.
Men value purity and youth. Purity, youth, beauty.
You can really get those brain juices flowing as you tune into yet another episode of the groundbreaking discussion, What's Wrong with Modern Women?, which are about as thought-provoking as an episode of Jerry Springer. Or alternatively, if that gets boring, you can tune into an episode of Why Men Cheating is Actually Okay.
Right? Men really have to work to become attractive. That's why I laugh at y'all when you tell me, well, men shouldn't cheat and they shouldn't do this. Men have to bust their ass to become attractive to even be seen.
What if a woman cheats? Can men accept that?
She belongs to the street.
You don't think it's...
That's that shit that I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. It's okay for a dude to cheat, but a woman, her body count means everything. Her body count means everything. A woman can't cheat. No. Woman can't cheat? What?
different for men and for women cheating?
No.
I actually think that like women like to be cheated on.
But Pearl did.
Oh, I actually think women like to be cheated on. She tried that, she tried that same statement with Andrew Tate. And he basically told her, no, you're wrong. Andrew Tate had to tell her she was wrong on that women like to be cheated on. She's such a pick-me, bro. Oh, God, I hate her. Oh.
Didn't always have these takes. In fact, she used to say the polar opposite, especially about Fresh and Fit, who she is now emulating.
I know a lot of girls that actually waited until they were married and stayed virgin until they were married. And I can tell you that the guys on Fresh and Fit podcast would never be able to pull a girl like that.
Oh, funny how reviews change. You know why? Because the manosphere has money. The manosphere has money behind it. The manosphere loves to give super chats. The manosphere loves to give cash apps and PayPals and stuff like that. You can make money especially if you're a woman in the manosphere. Because it's a woman saying our viewpoints. Funny how she switched up, right?
It's interesting considering that Pearl's current branding revolves around telling women that their standards are too high and that if you want a high value man that you have to tolerate him cheating.
People think I'm condoning cheating. People think I'm encouraging cheating. No.
Like, I think if a woman cheats, she's trying to leave you. If a man cheats, he's just like, it's like a handshake.
So if a woman cheats, she's trying to leave you. If a man cheats, it's just a handshake. It's just a handshake, y'all. Ain't no big deal. It's just a handshake. It's all good. Exactly, Amber Chick. If you think I'm gonna buy a car without test driving it, ma'am, you done lost your mind. Miss me with that purity bullshit. Not today, Satan. You know what? And funny you say that, Amber. I have my Not Today, Satan t-shirt on today. I had to wear it just for Just Pearly Things. Just for her. Just for her. I wore this t-shirt knowing I was going to talk about her. Not today, Satan. Not today. Amber Chick, I want handshake. Shut up, Amber Chick.
Women act like this is the most unforgivable thing, that he is the ultimate bad guy, the ultimate demon if he does this. I'm sorry, sometimes you contributed to it. And women take no accountability for that. And that he wants to go to the bar with his buddies because you make that shit a hellhole. Because you are so unpleasant to be around. And that man forgives you for all of that shit, but you can't forgive him for stepping out once, twice. You guys are crazy.
Do you hear what's coming out of her mouth? Do you hear what's coming out of her mouth? Now, okay? Sometimes the situation at home does make the other person want to cheat. Okay? There are definitely exceptions to it. It's not saying that every man that cheats, wasn't pushed to do so. Okay? I have to admit, in my first marriage, I was working 60, 70 hours a week. I was never home. And that caused him to start drifting and looking somewhere else. Now that I know that, now that I see that the world isn't black and white and there's gray in there. There are exceptions, but the way she talks about it, the exception is the rule. Yeah, she's serious, Joelle. Yes, she's serious. She is serious when she's saying this shit.
It's just a little cheating. No biggie. I think it's safe to say that Pearl has changed her business plan in order to make money off of the manosphere.
Yes.
Because people's opinions don't normally change so drastically in morality,
yes,
especially in such a short amount of time.
Now me, I'm not selling anything.
Based on what I know through observation, her particular target audience is a male. This is where Pearl's content and marketing sits. She is constantly hitting pain points and triggers. The challenges and the pain points for her particular customer, client, and fan is not being heard.
Right there. Challenges, keeping a woman, pain points, not accepted, hurt by women, desired feeling, worshipped, voice tone, aggressive, authority. Right here. That's exactly what that is Pearl's business plan right there. That blue square is her business plan. That's how she makes her money. She hits the triggers of these men who feel like they have been hurt by women and society. That's how she gets her money. She is a grifter. She is a pick-me. That's all she is. She's a grifter and a pick-me. Period, point blank, period.
Not being seen, not feeling valued, and not having access to women. So she talks about this constantly, right? And she's talking to women, right? Women which this particular customer, client, or fan does not have access to and wants access to. One way to draw in this particular customer is to continue to hit this customer's pain point over and over and over.
What's up with those modern women? Am I right?
I'm going to be honest with you. To me, though, personally, she's not talking to the women. She don't care what the women think. She don't care what the women feel. When we watch a podcast episode of hers, in which we will, you're going to see she talks through the women. She doesn't talk to the women. She talks through them, because who she's talking to is the dudes who are giving her the super chats, or the dudes who are giving her the memberships, or the dudes that are buying whatever she's selling. That's who she's talking to. She's not talking to the women. She's talking through the women.
All right, boys. Pearl even talks about this business plan in an interview with Yahoo News, saying that she didn't know what her business would be yet, but basically that she wanted to be an influencer and build a brand. The plan? Make money off of single men on YouTube by regurgitating their talking points about women back to them as a woman.
Yes, right there, 100%.
I feel like when men love women, it's like women have more conditions for them to be like really in love.
For a man to love a woman, she does not have to jump through as many hoops and meet as many requirements as for a woman needs to love a man.
Just like Fresh and Fit, Pearl spouts a lot of the same double standards that promote sociopathy, especially in teaching men to have destructive behaviors.
Most men always get looked upon like they're not a hoe. Why is it different for women than it is for men?
It's easy for us to get sex, and men getting sex is hard. So if they do what's hard, it's valued. If we do what's easy, it's not.
Bro, what? Bro, what? So it's easy for women to get sex. It's not easy for men to get sex. So therefore, when they get sex, it's more valued and it's just easy for women. So in other words, it's okay for a man to be a hoe out there. It's okay for a man to be a thought. However, it is not okay for a woman because it's easy. And that's the sad part, Amber Chick. Nobody hurt her. I doubt anybody hurt her. This is all for money. This is all for money. She's a grifter. She's a grifter. I will stand here today and say she's a grifter. I have zero issues in saying that.
I'm so enlightened by Pearl teaching us how being a man will magically eliminate all of the consequences of cheating. You know, like breaking your trust with your partner by lying to them, getting another woman pregnant that you now have to support, humiliating your wife, causing family dysfunction, and bringing home disease.
If a man cheats, it's like a handshake.
That is one hell of a handshake, Pearl. And promoting promiscuity is a great way to help create the single moms that her podcast actively speaks out against.
Their amazing strategy is they don't want to pass on resources to another man's kid. Like that's why they're repulsed by hoes. That's why they're repulsed by like other people's children.
If single motherhood should be avoided, then perhaps Pearl should consider not contributing to the problem by promoting promiscuity to her male audience. If you're smart like Fresh and Fit or Pearl, you can just reframe promoting sociopathy to men as advocating for them, even if the only thing it does is promote dysfunction and make more men lonely by fear-mongering them about relationships.
I mean, okay, let's be honest. And I've said this a million times, but being that we're on the subject, I'm going to say it 1,000,001, all right? There is a stigma of men being emotional that shouldn't be there. There is a stigma that men shouldn't seek out help from like psychiatrists or psychiatrists or oh God, what are those other people? Psychologists. Okay, there's a stigma that they don't do that. There's a stigma of men not talking about their feelings. There is that stigma, and that stigma needs to change because their emotional and mental well-being is just as important as a woman's. Okay, but you do not have to put down one to lift up the other. I don't care if you're talking about women or I don't care if you're talking about men. You can uplift men without putting down women, and you don't have to uplift women to put down, you don't have to put down men to uplift women. You don't have to do that. But if you don't do that, the money isn't there. In the manosphere, you have to put down those women to get the money from those men. You have to. And it's ridiculous.
Is promote dysfunction and make more men lonely by fear-mongering them about relationships.
I feel like a lot of men have a good reason for avoiding marriage today.
I love it.
And even a woman can seize your assets, even if you're just living together. It varies from state to state. I know the chat. But it's like if she leaves her stuff at your apartment for like a period of 3 months, she can literally seize your assets.
We are just warning you of what female nature is.
You're probably wondering by now, where is Pearl's ring? Well, I'm here to inform you that Pearl is single and unmarried at 26 years old.
The reason I decided to go to therapy is because in the next 5 to 7 years, ideally, some things are out of your control, but ideally I'd like to be married.
Which, according to her, is because she is too picky.
You're single over a certain age, you're probably too picky.
And I say that it's because she's too picky because she claims that 28 years old is pretty old to be getting married.
You got 2 years, Pearl. You got 2 years, Pearl.
What do men value? Third thing men value, youth. How are they getting youth when the average age of first marriage for women in the US is 28.6 years old?
Pearl is lucky if she can get married by 28 years old because she's 26, and even if she met Mr. Right today, you would still usually have to be engaged for at least a year, and then usually people, if they're going fast, wait another year before getting married, putting her at 28 years old if they're going fast by today's standards. And Pearl doesn't have much long-term experience in dating either. According to this interview on Yahoo News and what Pearl says online about her dating experiences on various podcasts, she's only had a couple of boyfriends. If you can do the math of her being 23 in the Yahoo interview, they couldn't have been that long considering she just turned 26 in the past couple of months.
She has no life experience. She does not have life experience. How is this 20, and believe me, I'm not age shaming when I say this, so if it comes off this way, I apologize, but I'm going to be very honest here. How is a 26-year-old young woman who is not married, does not have children, how are you going to sit there and preach to a woman how she's supposed to be in her marriage when you don't have that life experience? You don't have the life experience of being working class, coming from a working class family, struggling, having to have both parents working, where they're barely home just to keep a roof on top of a child's head. How are you going to sit there and tell me how I'm supposed to do my marriage or anybody else's marriage? How are you to tell them how they're supposed to be with their kids? Explain that to me. I need somebody to explain that to me. What experience does she have that she can tell anybody anything? I'm just saying.
And that got me interested in knowing who is Pearl picking, considering that anytime a guy does something wrong, no matter what it is, she tells women to simply just pick better.
Okay, so then you pick guys that cheat.
I discovered that last year Pearl tweeted about a breakup she had, so I decided to go ahead and check the archives. And it turns out that Pearl actually got catfished by an obese man with 2 children on TikTok.
Oh. Baby, when did we start dating?
Yep. That's right, an obese man with 2 children on TikTok. And I point out that he's obese because Pearl is constantly dunking on fat girls.
Okay, now, Brittany gets to a point in here, she gets catty about Just Pearly Things looks. And normally, if y'all been with me long enough, I'm not about going after somebody's looks. However, Pearl loves to point out about obese women. She loves to point out how women need to be, a higher standard for men so they can be submissive. Okay? So the way I look at it, exactly, Midna, she's fair game. So here we go.
Why do I need to look at your roles and then I have to go on social media? Then boom, whale. Boom, another whale.
The cherry on top is that Pearl has been pretty adamant about men having children being a deal breaker for her.
For me personally, I'm not into the guys with kids. It's not my thing.
Instead of immediately breaking up with him for hiding 2 whole children from her, she instead takes him in to live with her and her family to mooch off of them.
Because he was homeless when I first met him. So I moved him into my parents' house so he could get an ID.
Too.
Yeah, and so my parents put him on our lease.
Aww.
So that was how and they moved him in for he lived with us for a month.
Meanwhile, Pearl is out here humble bragging about her bagging a rich one on podcasts.
Oh, he was a millionaire. It was just he didn't know what to do with it.
How did you nab a millionaire?
He was on social media and I saw he lived kind of close to me, and so I made videos saying oh, we should hang out. Have you never seen those videos of girls shooting their shots at guys?
No.
Publicly? I was on TikToks and I did a video saying, when he's not doing this comedic bit, he's actually kind of fine. I live in Chicago, you live in Chicago, we should hang out.
I am pretty confident that Pearl is referring to her ex Wanya in these instances because Wanya is from Chicago, like the millionaire ex she talks about in the video. There are multiple articles saying that Wanya was homeless when he was around 22 years old. There's a small chance that I'm wrong, but it seems that the story does match up. I do find it funny that Pearl dating Wanya, or people know him as Angry Reactions, was framed as her bagging a rich one. Meanwhile, he actually moved on to date a more attractive redhead.
Oh! I love that for her. I absolutely love that for her. I'm sorry. I'm petty. Excuse me for being petty. Petty Xylie is coming out right now. I love that for her. I do. She got, listen, all he did, Pearl, was do exactly what you say on your podcast to do. He found himself a younger, prettier version. A prettier version that wears makeup, does her hair, wears something really cute. All he did was step up his game and got himself a prettier one. That's what you claim. That's what you always say they need to do on your podcast, right? He got himself a prettier version. Damn. Hate to see it, huh? Yeah, it was just a handshake. That's all it was, Pearl. It was just a handshake.
And she's still single and unmarried. It seems like her advice on lowering her standards to get married isn't working out so well for her. Pearl has the absolute audacity to tell women to pick better when she literally got catfished by some girl's obese baby daddy on TikTok. Yeah, he has a lot of followers, but he ended up having to mooch off of her anyway, so Not only does she regularly dunk on obese people, even taunting them in her TikTok bio before she got banned, but Pearl will even put all the blame on women for obesity in America, despite half the obese population in America being men. How can Pearl dunk on fat girls so often, considering that she has clearly neglected her own self-care? This video of her is only from 1 month ago, and it might surprise you to learn that she's a professional athlete. And despite her lack of self-care, she still likes to spout a lot of statistics about fat women, despite being corrected on this by Destiny on her live stream.
There's a lot of fat people. Fat people stay with fat people.
But women by and large are fatter than men. No. Women, and if you go in the U.S., the woman's always fatter. BMI.
So in the U.
Okay, all right. He's getting ready to correct her, but that's another thing Pearl does. She comes up with these statistics that don't even exist. She is constantly saying shit that does not exist. Like, ma'am, where did you get that from? Destiny's getting ready to clock her.
US, the average BMI for a man is 26.6 and the average BMI for a woman is 26.5.
Oh, I stand corrected.
But even after he corrected her, she continued to misrepresent the statistic.
How can we say that as a whole, in the US and the West, we're good wives, when 80% of us are overweight, and that's the #1 thing that men value? There's a lot of room for improvement with Western women. 70% of us are overweight. The average man makes more than the average woman, but the average woman is fatter than the average man.
You see what I'm saying? She literally pulls statistics out of her ass. She just says what her truth. They're her truth. Absolutely.
So in the US, the average BMI for a man is 26.6 and the average BMI for a woman is 26.5.
Oh, I stand corrected.
Hi everyone, this is me in the middle of editing. Pearl got banned off of TikTok, so I've had to go into the Internet Archive to pull up the timeline for you guys because I can't prove it on the live site. But you can see she's wearing the same top that she talks about the false obesity statistic. And you can see the date here is 3/14. Destiny corrected her much before that, so just wanted to show proof of that. When I was doing research, I also happened to have made a note about the timeline because I had a feeling that she was regurgitating the statistic even after she was corrected, and it turned out I was correct, so.
Pearl is full of trust me bros. Pearl is full of trust me bros. And she always has to say, oh, I don't know where I found it, or I can't remember where I found it, or I know I saw it somewhere. Trust me, bros.
Just wanted to post the proof in here. Pearl speaks on men valuing attractiveness, purity, and youth, and says in order to get a high-value husband, or husband at all, you should be those things.
Men value purity and youth.
Yeah.
Purity, youth, beauty.
Pearl fails to meet these standards herself, despite wanting to get married so badly.
Apparently, if I want results in life, I have to start talking to boys. Yeah, wife me up if you're in the London area. You know?
In terms of purity, Pearl's not a virgin. In fact, she's so reluctant to say her body count that she's willing to just lie.
How many people have you slept with? Do you have this out?
No.
You ask everybody that. And you don't say your own number?
She does.
No, I don't ask everyone. I don't think I've ever asked. No, I don't even ask body count. Would you say your body count?
I don't know.
No. No, I don't even ask. I always say how many bodies is too many bodies. So I have a question. Would you guys say your body count?
No.
So if it doesn't matter, like, why don't people just say it?
She chose to lie because she felt embarrassed.
It's funny with Pearl. If you stick a woman in front of her, she'll argue with a woman. If you stick a man in front of her, she won't argue. I think the closest one she's ever come to argue with was Destiny. Destiny was the closest one, but he obviously is on the opposite, like political spectrum as she is. But you stick a man in front of her, she just goes right with it.
And despite Pearl preaching about the importance of women's chastity, Pearl actually wanted to partake in hookup culture.
But I swear to God, like, guys don't try to sleep with me.
Really?
like, I swear to God, I've been on a date, and I would have been down, and he just never tried. I was like, oh, okay. And I date, so the guy didn't even touch me once.
Yeah.
He touched me once, and I'm like, yeah. I don't really have guys approach me often.
It could be the clothes.
It seems like she barely knew him and wanted to hook up with him, but he didn't want to. So, according to Pearl, I guess we shouldn't be taking her advice, considering that she can't attract men even for casual encounters.
She's just not that young, pretty thing that she claims that men want. She's not the very thing that she tells women they need to be. Funny how that works. Funny how it works that she's not the thing that she tells women they are supposed to be. What? What?
I've noticed a lot of therapists are like older single women, and I'm kind of like, if you can't maintain a relationship, why would I take advice from you?
You know what? Truer words have not been spoken out of her mouth.
She can't attract men even for casual encounters.
I've noticed a lot of therapists are like older single women, and I'm kind of like, if you can't maintain a relationship, why would I take advice from you?
Why would I take advice from you, Pearl, when you are not the single thing that you talk about? She is not even close to what she says a woman is supposed to be.
This is just something I've noticed. But I haven't spent a ton of time in therapy, but then I'm like, yeah, like, why would I take advice from you if you can't maintain a relationship?
And she thinks what's holding her back is the fact that she's like 6 feet tall.
I would say if there's one thing that's held me back in dating, it is the height.
But I think it's because of her desperation, and they can sense it along with her low standards.
And
I agree.
If a guy has all the things that you look for, he might cheat. Yeah. So how can I be that mad if he cheats when it's like I picked him?
Would you?
How can I be that mad if he cheats since I picked him? Woman, what? Amber Chick, I'm not even gonna read that. I'm not gonna read it, Amber Chick. I'm not gonna read it.
Accept if he's just stepping up but not getting anyone pregnant?
Are we married?
No, you're in a relationship.
I think if I'm being truly honest with myself, for the right guy, I probably would.
How many times?
I don't know how many times.
She's basically announcing to the world, hey, I'm Pearl. I'll tolerate cheating. Please marry me. So imagine the kind of men she's attracting. And it seems like her dating life in general just has not gone well.
He was older than me.
Oh, okay.
So he had girlfriends before me. 2 weeks after we ended it, he starts dating a new girl. I think he's gonna marry that girl or did. I don't really know. Yeah, I was obsessed. I was so sad because I felt like I waited because I was a sophomore in college when I lost my virginity. So I was halfway through college. It's late. Yeah.
You know, it's not about you. I'm gonna drop something. It's at the timing.
No. It's about her. It's definitely about her. Don't hype her up. It's about her. I promise.
Well, no. It was because he literally went on to marry the next girl. So something. But it's funny because the girl was older than me. So by the manosphere's perspective, I would have won.
Pearl even acknowledges that things don't work out as they do on paper, but she continues to influence people to do immoral, pathological behaviors in order to demonize women for clicks and views. In Pearl's world, if the wife puts the husband in question in a bad position and takes his kid away, then it's her fault.
It only takes one time to ruin a guy's life where she can literally take half and take the kids. How is he supposed to protect the children when legally she can take them and she's paid to take them away from him?
But that same empathy is nowhere to be found if the wife is put in a bad position by the husband.
Yep.
Okay, so then you pick guys that cheat.
It says something about your decision making if you become a single mother.
If the woman...
It says something about your... She does the same thing. She will sprinkle out a little bit of truth. Where yes, there are women out there who do bad things with men and the men get caught up. Okay? It is a truth. That does happen. It's an exception. It is not a rule. But she takes that little bit of truth and then she stretches it to now it is the woman's fault. And the way she talks about it, it's always the woman's fault if she ends up being a single mother. That's what she does.
Leaves, it's because she's just trying to take the man's money because she's an unreasonable, home-wrecking gold digger.
She can take them and she's paid to take them away from him.
But if a woman decides to make her own money, well, now she's emasculating her husband and causing the divorce.
Like what?
Or one of the number one reasons for divorce is financial, and also when women out-earn men.
The iron...
When women out-earn men. Have a good night, Sarah. So the number one reason for divorce is about money and when women out-earn men.
But if a woman decides to make her own money, well, now she's emasculating her husband and causing the divorce.
Or one of the number one reasons for divorce is financial, and also when women out-earn men.
The
Huh. Like what?
irony of Pearl dehumanizing women on her channel is that her entire channel's premise is to focus on the injustices against men and how women aren't empathetic enough to them. And Pearl doesn't like when this happens to her. For example, Pearl went on a podcast and told her story about how her male role model in her life, her coach who worked one-on-one with her since she was 14, turned out to be a groomer.
Because I remember saying, like, you can tell me stuff you don't like, you don't tell your parents. I remember looking at him like a dad, like, for a while, because I saw him so much. He told me before I went to college, like, that I was going to get a bunch of attention from boys because of my butt.
And as soon as she turned 18, he tried to sleep with her and shove alcohol down her throat, which, by the way, for those of you that don't know, the legal drinking age in America is 21.
And he's like, oh, come take a shot at the gym with me. So I think I was 18 or 19 when this happened. And at first I was like, oh, no, I'm not trying to drink tonight, because it was like my finals week. That's why I was home. But he kept like going at it. So then he goes, you know, like, Hannah, because my first name's Hannah, the gym's empty right now. We could do anything you want. I'm like, what do you mean, Marcus? He texted me. So he said, come back to the gym tonight. And I said, for what? And then he said, like, nothing, just sex. The issue I had was he was waiting till girls turned 18 to try to hook up with him. A couple years later, I find out he is going to be a coach at my high school on the track team, and my sister's going to run track. I was like, oh, hell no. But I didn't get him fired till years later because my mom told me not to.
And then
what was it? Who was it? Luthien. I think it's projection. When she speaks, it's like she's speaking to herself but never changes. I'm going to be honest with you, Luthien. She's a grifter. Because she knows there's money to be made in the manosphere. She's a grifter. She knows what to say to get those super chats. Honestly. And I agreed. The mom was an idiot. That they should have got that coach fired ASAP. ASAP. If he was doing some shit like that. What? If that dude was doing stuff like that, yeah, he needed to get gone and he shouldn't have been around young girls. 100%.
And in the interview, she goes on to talk about how the manosphere blamed her for this, even though her coach was double her age.
Like, I can tell they're from the manosphere comment, because I've told this story on like a TikTok before, and it's weird. They blame you. Like, they put the 17, 18-year-old.
You see her complaining about the manosphere here, and yet she joined it. She learned that's how to make money.
Yeah, I can.
Like, why'd you put yourself in that situation? Or you liked the attention, da-da-da-da-da.
Pearl has firsthand experience in the consequences of demonizing the other gender, and considering she went through something so terrible, you would think she would be empathetic. But instead, she's so profit-driven that if somebody else told her the same story, she would side with the predator. She seems to give no nuance and no defense of women, no matter what the situation is, even if what happened when they were children.
I'm pretty sure social media is like some of the most damaging stuff for young girls in middle school and high school because of how much like information they're bombarded with in terms of beauty standards and how they look. But you guys are like, well, but Instagram helps them get flown out to Dubai, so I think like
it does.
You know, it's like you're totally disconnected from like the real world.
I mean, it also lets you catfish the hell out of men, like with these freaking Instagram filters.
It's based on the media that they consume and the images around them. Like that's just absolutely true.
Freaking who?
Like what happened to?
You see how her attitude changed? Yes, I've seen the video. This isn't my only live stream on Just Pearly Things. MD. This isn't going to be my first live stream. This is only part 1. We're only doing part 1 tonight. There's going to be plenty of live streams on Just Pearly Things.
To the accountability. She's holding the kids more accountable than she's holding the men for not checking if it's a real person or not. Maybe it's because she's biased and she got catfished. I don't know. So yeah, clearly Pearl has no issues holding even little girls accountable.
And yes, Tipster, this was a good video. I've been covering Just Pearly Things just a little bit. And then I saw this video come out and I watched it and I was like, oh, it was amazing because almost everything I've always wanted to say about Just Pearly Things is in this one video. I love it. I love it. She just doesn't, the only thing about this video is Brittany doesn't get into the issues she's having right now with the manosphere. But I'll get into that because there's plenty of stuff on that.
Over men. And when it comes to women, Pearl will say things like, you shouldn't talk about the exceptions, only talk about the rule.
You know, some people might get married and the husband dies and they become a single mother. You know,
but we're not talking about exceptions, we're talking about the rule. Are the majority of single mothers widows? No.
But that changes at Pearl's convenience.
Yep.
You can't talk about nuances unless it demonizes women.
You've never heard of cases where women don't let the dad see the kid?
Earlier, you said we were going to talk about exceptions. You want to talk about the rules. So don't give me the hide and go seek with the kid. How often do you think a mom is hiding the kid from the husband? Give me a percentage.
I don't know.
Before on her channel, she...
We're going to watch that. We're going to watch her talking to Destiny because Destiny is the one dude that really pushes her. He pushes her.
actually used to be more nuanced and actually criticized the manosphere for not acknowledging exceptions.
You know, I know that one girl that makes more money than her husband, or whatever the exception is to the rule. And we see it, I think, more often than the manosphere really gives credit to. I think in general, men don't want to date single mothers, but I know a lot of single mothers that got remarried.
She was even willing to have her virgin friends come on the show to explain their perspective and why they wouldn't sleep with someone with a high body count like the host of Fresh and Fit.
I'm probably going to have a couple friends that waited till they were married to have sex on my podcast to actually talk about what they look for in guys.
Then only a month later, she starts regurgitating manosphere talking points.
If you get married and it doesn't work out, like, women can and will take all of your money.
Pearl doesn't like when you go, but men, in response to her.
And whenever we talk about where the women need to improve, we always need to point the finger at the men.
But the reason people...
But yet you always point the finger at the women. Like, what?
Go, but what about men, is because she doesn't seem to address the other half of the equation. Women haven't single-handedly made men cheat, cause obesity, or cause divorce, but Pearl will take it and spin in a way to where women are the blame and men don't take any accountability for it. For example, 80% of women initiate divorce is something she will say in order to blame women. But women initiating divorce doesn't necessarily mean that they were in the wrong. If it were the other way around, I just know that Pearl would spin it as men are leaving modern women because they're low value. I mean, she already does this with passport bros.
Are Western women typically known as good wives? Are they sought after all over the world? Or are men getting their passports and going elsewhere?
It's not 100% of the woman's fault, and if you don't address even the 10% of the time where it's the man's fault, then you're not really solving anything. She's radicalizing people because she's making them mad about problems while giving them no solutions.
She's making them mad about problems that are the exceptions. She's literally taking the exceptions of shitty people, okay? And in her instance, of shitty things that women have done, okay? The exceptions of what women have done, those bad things, and she's literally making them the rule. And that hypes up her audience, and she gets more memberships, and she gets more super chats because they feel seen. That's what she's doing. She's making them feel like they are being seen because she's literally taking the small percentage of the bullshit that happens and makes it like it's the rule. And be careful, guys, because women are out to do this to you. That's what she's doing.
And it's not really helping anyone. And as she makes things worse, she just gets to sit there and collect money off of people's negative emotions. Pearl asserts that her focus on addressing women exclusively is due to the fact that they're never held accountable. Because she's holding women solely responsible for every issue, she's just perpetuating the issue that she claims to be trying to solve. If she had a more balanced consideration of everyone, then perhaps she would actually get something solved. And she does this a lot by misrepresenting statistics in order to poorly portray women. For example, Pearl talks about how 20% of men aren't even the father of their children.
And they say that 20% of men are raising a kid that's not theirs. That's why they don't want a promiscuous woman. They're afraid they're going to pass the resources onto the wrong, onto a kid that's not theirs.
Where's the percentage on that? I want to see actual. When you talk shit like that, I want to see the data. I want to see the data.
Knowing or knowing?
Not knowing.
So how do they get the statistics? I don't know. It's
DNA test.
Much like the feminist that Pearl criticizes, I've never seen her cite where she gets her data from. And that's the same thing as lying in the science world because she's making it impossible to even fact check her. I have to just guess what study she's talking about, and I think she's basing it on this 1999 report. It's by the American Association of Blood Banks, and it's over 2 decades old, which is way too old for a study like this to be relevant. And the 20% claim that Pearl made doesn't actually represent the population. It's actually much lower. They were testing men that were already not sure if they were the dad, meaning that the study was biased. In order for it to not be biased, it would have to be randomized or tested at birth. The vast differences in non-paternity rates across different populations is also not taken into account. This is relevant information, especially considering that Pearl's podcast is based in London, even though she's from America. So how are we supposed to know where she's even talking about? Depending on what country you're looking at, the percentages are all different and significantly lower than what Pearl was saying. Another example of Pearl misrepresenting data in order to demonize women is her saying that women primarily divorce men for money.
I want to get married. Of course I want to get married. But like if I was a guy, I would have a really hard time with it. And you could say it's the type of woman, but 50% of marriages end in divorce. Women leave the majority of the time. I don't think it's the type of woman. I think it's that they're paying women to leave. leave. Or one of
They're paying women to leave. You know what? When I got my first divorce, I must have really fucked up. Because I certainly didn't get paid. I'm just saying. What's up, Loki? I must have really fucked up because nobody paid me to divorce my husband. Nobody paid me. I didn't get money. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know there was a payment plan to leave somebody. Just saying. Just throwing it out there.
the number one reasons for divorce is financial, and also when women out-earn men.
But the top reason for divorce on every site that I've checked didn't have that as even the top 4. And while I was researching this, I actually I checked.
I don't think it's the type of woman. I think it's that they're paying women to leave.
For divorce on every site that I've checked didn't have.
Okay, top 4: lack of commitment, infidelity or extramarital affairs, too much conflict and arguing, and lack of physical intimacy. Where's the money? Where is the woman out earning the man? It's not there.
Have that as even the top 4. And while I was researching this, I actually found data citing that women who divorced in the previous 12 months were more likely than recently divorced men to be in poverty, 20% compared to 11% respectively. If I were doing what Pearl does, I could easily utilize that data to say that 80% of women are leaving men because men can't satisfy women. But hey, at least I'm telling you where I got the data from, unlike her. I would have thought someone as rich as her would have the resources to be able to check the statistics she's saying, especially considering she's on her dad's dime.
Yep. Daddy's paying for it. Yeah, she is really pretty, Rennie.
Number one, I'm sorry I'm not a brokey. My dad yells at me for accounting every month, and I have to like organize like business expenses versus personal. So my dad does yell at me when I pull out cash when you can't see what you spend it on.
Pearl reminds me of Pearl from SpongeBob, asking her dad, Mr. Krabs, for money.
How much is all of this costing me? Here's the receipt.
Oh, Daddy, you got me everything I wanted.
She also reminds me of Mr. Krabs' daughter because he wants her to be a star and he's paying her way to do so.
Being a little YouTuber is tough. I'm really tired of being broke, Dad. I can't mooch off of you forever.
Must be nice to have a dad to be able to mooch off of. Must be real nice.
My little girl is finally a star.
Give me a K-R-U!
I'm sure that Pearl understands the real-world struggles of the average person from her 10-bedroom mansion.
You guys you want the house tour?
But clearly,
woo, that's a mighty nice house. I never had a house like that.
Clearly, there is one thing that money cannot buy, and that thing is taste. This video is from Pearl's channel called Wife School. In the first episode, she and Allie, known as Real Femme Sapien on YouTube, meet up to improve on Pearl's fashion, along with a male stylist who is supposed to be helping Pearl attract a husband by improving her outfits. So let's take a look at some of—
Okay, so this is the part that normally I'm not down for. Okay. That house could fit the whole chat. It sure could, KJ. That house could fit the whole chat. You're right. But she grew up in a 10-bedroom house. She grew up in a 10-bedroom house. Both of her parents worked. They were entrepreneurs, made hella money. She doesn't know what it is to be working class, living paycheck to paycheck. And she definitely doesn't know what it's like to be married and both having to work and raise children. She doesn't know about any of that. But she sure does have a lot of opinions about shit she don't know. You know what I'm saying? She has a lot of opinions about shit she don't know. But this is the part where... Okay, this is the part where I normally don't get down like this, all right? I normally don't go after people's looks unless it's like a personal issue where they throw it, I throw it back. Bless you, honey. Yeah, I think it's all game. I think it's fair. So I'm just going to go with it. I think it's fair. So let's go.
Of the outfits he puts her in.
Perfect for a night out on the town.
I'll do the full tour.
This dress looks like a trash bag. It's unflattering on her because it's showcasing her stomach, which is not what she should be highlighting. Not only that, but the black is washing her out, making her look very drained, especially considering the fact that she normally doesn't wear makeup. Going without makeup is a personal choice and it's fine, but if you're gonna do that, you need to know your color palette or you will look even more tired and sickly when you wear the wrong colors. I'm gonna go ahead and explain a little bit of color theory to you guys.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I've never been girly enough to know this, so I learned something when I watched this. Not gonna lie.
Color season is a system that utilizes color theory to categorize where each person falls under in order to easily find out what colors look good on them. It's based on how their skin's undertones interact with other colors, and that involves how light or dark their skin is relative to the hair and eye color. If you have warm undertones in your skin, you'll look more yellow with green veins in your wrists, and if you're cool tone, you'll look more pinkish or reddish with blue veins on your wrists. If you have a warm undertone, you should wear warm colors. If you have cool undertones, cool tone colors will suit you best. You have to have a trained eye to be able to see it in some cases, but Pearl is cool toned, as you can see with her pink flush in her skin. Pearl is either a light summer because of her cool tone coloration, or she would be a light spring because it's right next to light summer in the color wheel. It's a little hard to tell on the internet, but I know
Jaden Whedon, why are you being so petty? You being petty as hell. Stop being so petty. This is a Christian mingle chat, damn it. We're gonna stay Christian mingle. I mean, a little petty ain't bad. We're a little petty over here. Just a little bit.
Know for sure she's on that side of the color wheel. If you look at someone and the first thing you see is their outfit's color instead of their own natural coloration and features, then you're wearing the wrong colors. The stylist doesn't apply this knowledge or even utilize basic color theory, and instead, he takes her to a cheap, fast fashion store like Zara. If he were actually good at his job, he would not be making these mistakes. If money were an issue, which clearly for Pearl it's not, there are better budget-friendly places you could go to for higher quality clothes. For example, go thrifting. But yeah, clearly Pearl doesn't need to go thrifting. He could have just taken her to a higher-end mall or a department store.
She's being so petty. Oh my God. Oh my God. And normally I wouldn't be down for this, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Pearl deserves it. She deserves it. I'm sorry. Amber Chick's like, I've never used color theory to drag someone. I respect it. I respect it too. She's bringing out a whole ass graph just to troll her ass. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. Nuclear winter, like girls need love too. Yes. This whole ass video, Brittany did an amazing job on this whole ass video. And like I said, I normally don't co-sign brittanyventi, but this video, she did an excellent job on this video.
Honestly, he just does her dirty the entire time.
That's super cool. That looks really nice.
Where would I go with this outfit?
I think that could be an afternoon. I think that could be an evening outfit. I think you could go out in Shoreditch wearing that. You could go to Canary Wharf to one of the bars down there. Meet some nice high value guy.
He looks at her with a straight face, telling her she's going to meet a high value guy in this outfit. Oh, it'll look nice going out for errands and having a nice dinner. He's just talking out of his ass.
So what do we rate this, 1 to 10?
I reckon it's a high 8.
Like, I don't know how a stylist can honestly rate these outfits so high.
Alright, that's now it. Now.
That dress was bad. Even, listen. I am not the girliest of girls out there. We all know that. And even I know that dress was a no. That whole outfit, that orange thing was a no for her. Even I know that, okay? It's that bad on her. Even I was like, ugh. No. Her friend is not doing her any justice. If that's her friend right there, she is not doing her any justice going, yeah, girl, that outfit right there. No. Mm-mm. Midna. It's hard styling someone that looks like a russet potato. Midna. Oh.
Now we're talking.
Spin after pass. Okay.
He must think that she's a dumpster because he keeps putting her in trash bags. Because he's done it now like 3 or 4 times in this video, and he's not highlighting any of the flattering parts of her body, which defeats the entire purpose of having a stylist help you. There are several different body shapes, but for Pearl, she holds most of her weight proportionately in her arms and in her stomach. And that should have been taken into consideration when he was dressing her. Regardless if she loses weight, her proportions will stay the same relative to her other body parts. You can bring balance back to the body by drawing the attention to the most.
Now that's an outfit. That is an outfit. Look at that outfit. That is an outfit. Just saying.
Attractive body parts and away from the least attractive ones using color, patterns, texture. But of course, he would know that if he actually knew what the hell he was doing as a stylist. It is honestly just so frustrating watching him not look smacks her. In this outfit, the skirt does not work. Pearl could have put on some jeans with a wider cut at the bottom to balance her upper, heavier half, or she could have put on a skirt that was A-line, high-waisted, and above the knee, but in middle of the thigh, not too short. Would have done the trick to bring attention to her legs and away from her stomach.
I'm pulling in the back because it's too big.
That is, though, size aside, that's pretty cool, but that is proper, like, New Year's Eve party type.
Yeah, should I wear it for New Year's Eve? Get it fitted? Or
Yeah.
You see how he literally highlights her stomach with bright green sparkles? I can't take this anymore. And then he has the audacity, he must got it from Pearl, the audacity to suggest for her to tailor a Zara dress that won't survive one wash. Literally go watch a fashion channel. Go watch Ali Art on YouTube and then come back to us when you actually know how to do your job.
Oh, Brittany! Oh, the petty. I love to see it. I love to see it. I love to see the petty.
And it's not just her frumpy style that's preventing her from looks maxing, it's also her presentation with her hair. She's not bothering to style it, and many people are even commenting about it under her TikTok, telling her to brush her hair. Pearl's hair just needs a haircut with some texturing to give it volume so that it's not so stuck and flat to her head. Her hair is very manageable. How is she going to teach other women how to attract a husband when she doesn't even put the minimal effort in her own appearance?
I've noticed a lot of therapists are like older single women, and I'm kind of like, if you can't maintain a relationship, why would I take advice from you?
So if she wants to be taken seriously, she should care about her overall presentation, including her fashion, hairstyle, her attitude, and bodily self-care. This situation is so deeply embarrassing and desperate. She has no business telling other women how to attract a husband.
Period. Period. Point blank. Period. Oh, dear God. Oh, dear God. Oh.
I wanted to give Pearl credit for trying to improve on her fashion, but she makes it really hard to do so when even months after this video, she continues to show up on camera with her hair undone, unbrushed, stuck to her head, no volume, and having naughty stains on her clothing. So I'll just have to instead give Pearl credit for trying to learn how to cook on her wife's school channel, because it appears she does not know how to. She hasn't been able to attract the men she wants to hook up with her, she hasn't been able to attract a boyfriend, and she doesn't even live by her own standards about presentation. You know who else doesn't adhere to their own standards and the gender they're attracted to isn't attracted to them? Male feminists. Pearl reminds me a lot of a male feminist. She uses a lot of their tactics, such as misrepresenting statistics.
But unfortunately, we still live in a broken system that says that my work as a white male is worth 46 cents more to the dollar than an equally qualified Hispanic woman.
Pearl is willing to accept degrading behavior like being cheated on because she is desperate to attract men.
Yeah, that male feminist thing. I've known a few that were real creeps.
I want to be honest. What I have noticed about most self-proclaimed, like you have male feminists out there who believe in equal rights and stuff like that, okay? They're out there. But the ones who are constantly proclaiming that they're a male feminist, deep down inside, they're actually the opposite. That's one thing I've noticed. Deep down inside, they're actually the opposite. They're trying to project what they want you to see them as and not what they really are. Honestly.
They put these women on a platform and worship these women, and they don't run fast. They can't pick things up. They're not attractive. So they're little weasels. They're trying to find another way in.
Pearl doesn't know how to attract men with her social skills, her appearance, or with skills like cooking.
What percent of women have cookbooks?
It's probably because we have the internet for recipes now, Pearl. But yeah, basically, I think that Pearl has had to resort to these desperate behaviors because she does not embody what men are attracted to. So she has to do things like agree to men cheating on her and degrading herself in order to get a man. It's very desperate.
I am not like those other guys.
And back to her business really quick in regard to her tactics. Her tactics remind me a lot of legacy media in how she fearmongers people in order to make money.
Yeah, that's exactly what she does. That's what I've been saying. She literally, what's up, Mikey Perk? She literally takes the crazy exceptions on the bad things that people can do, specifically women, specifically women can do to men, and she makes them a rule. She scares her audience into getting those super chats, to getting those memberships, to buying her merch. That's what she does. She plays on their fears. She's a grifter. She's a grifter.
I've watched a lot of Pearl's content and I've never seen her give a point to the other side. There's a huge lack of nuance when it comes to her channel. In fact, anytime someone on Pearl's show wants to give nuance, she will not let them do so unless it benefits men.
If we spent this podcast talking about the exceptions, we'd be here all day.
We didn't even get nowhere.
Yeah, there would be no point in having a conversation.
We still need to mention them.
Why?
There's no
we don't. It's my show.
And she will go as far as to bait her guests into giving more polarizing, extreme answers.
Whose beauty standards are higher, men or women?
I think it depends.
Okay, wait, I want to make a rule. No, it depends. Pick one and tell me why.
Pearl has gained the entirety of her 1 million subscribers from her fear-mongering, lies, and black and white thinking over just this past year. Pearl teaches men to act like hyper-selfish sociopaths, luring them down the dark path of loneliness, unhealthy relationships, and broken homes. Men taking her advice will result in the same situations that she criticizes women for. Pearl also doesn't teach women to have healthy boundaries, also leading them to the same fate. Taking Pearl's advice will reward you in a worldview as warped as hers, with black and white thinking in our grayscale reality.
Like,
no, Joe Mega, you're not oblivious. I haven't seen you in chat. We hang out in too many chats. Yes, and Stan and Amber Chick do hang out in too many chats together. I think any chat that has those two in it, they need to be worried because they're trouble. Just saying. Oh, wait, wrong button.
You're going to be okaying what he does. He's going to be okaying what you do. That has nothing to do with masculinity or femininity or anything like that. That's just like two adults having a relationship, figuring out what the boundaries are. You guys talk about things that are basic relationship norms, but you like frame them in the most toxic way possible. I don't understand.
If you do take one piece of advice away from Pearl, let it be this.
I've noticed a lot of therapists are like older single women, and I'm kind of like, if you can't maintain a relationship, why would I take advice from you?
This video took so long to make. I have never researched so much for a video before.
It's a rabbit hole. It is a rabbit hole. I have my algorithm on YouTube right now is atrocious because how much just because of how many videos I've watched on Just Pearly Things or Just Pearly Thing videos. My algorithm is all messed up right now. All messed up because of watching things about her. It's crazy.
So if you do like the content and appreciate me researching her, watching her content for 2 weeks, consider supporting me on Locals or on Patreon because I am community funded.
Okay, there we go. And of course, her video, so you can watch it uninterrupted, excuse me, will be in the description below when the live stream is over with. You know, when I get in there and do the timestamps and stuff. But yeah, that was a perfect video to introduce you to who Just Pearly Things is. So basically she's in trouble with two groups right now. She's in trouble in the manosphere because, or in the black manosphere because of her Nick Fuentes interview, which she deleted, but I found a re-upload of it. And she's in trouble with women. And the funny thing is, it doesn't matter if the women are liberal or conservative. She spews so much hate towards women that conservative and leftist, liberal, whatever you want to call them now, because the terms keep changing. Women from the right and the left are like, wait a minute, lady. Hold on. Wait a minute, lady. So she is, yes, she is a whole ass mess, Amber Chick. She is a whole ass mess. 100%. And I can't wait to go deep diving on her. I can't wait. She is my favorite female misogynist. She really is. She found a way to make money. And the way to make money was to go over to the manosphere and start spewing exactly what they say. Joe Makeup for $4.99. After watching Willie's video on her, I don't think I've ever seen such a double think from a person who never thinks to begin with. He didn't do a whole video just on her, though, did he? Or did it just come out? No, he only did the friends. He hasn't done the video on her yet. And I can't wait till he does. Alright, check out the Authentic Observer. The Authentic... Okay, hold on. Oh, I went to go watch her video. Red Pill Women Are Trashy and Childish. I went to go watch this video. I think I have this video on my watch later. Let me make sure I have it on my watch later. Because I see where I started to watch it. Alright, I saved it to watch later. Because I see where I started to watch it. I can see the red line on there a little bit. Yeah, I'll have to watch it. Thank you, Loki. Is this the Just Pearly Things fan club meetup? Am I late? We are not the fan club, sir. Mr. Peepaw. We are not the fan club. We're throwing tomatoes at her. Okay? Because that's what she deserves. She deserves tomatoes. How you doing, Peepaw? By the way, Peepaw, Eva gave up her little secret in the episode we uploaded tonight on the broadcast. By the way. Yeah, we're the Pearl Anti-Fan Club. Hell yeah. Oh, Bolton Mike. Peepaw is heartbroken since D-Max blocked him on Twitter. D-Max blocked you on Twitter, Peepaw? What'd you do to him? Peepaw, what'd you do to him? What'd you do to D-Max? You must have done something to D-Max. Okay, Mari, that's enough of that. There is no such thing. Is the kind of lady who knows the importance of femininity without trying to trend or be a pick-me. That's why I like her. I'll check her out. He's been bullying me all afternoon. I don't believe it, Peepaw. I believe you probably been bullying him. You're not the angel that you like to act like. You're not the angel that you like to act like you are, Peepaw. So, all right, anything else anybody got to say before we get out of here? D-Max is bullying the elderly. I know that's right. All right, everybody. Well, y'all have a great night. I'm going to try to do the second part tomorrow morning on Charleston White. Or I keep forgetting his name. I think it's Charleston White. I want to do the second part tomorrow morning. If not, We might watch Mysterious's video either tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening. Either way, I'm going live tomorrow. I might even go live twice tomorrow. I don't know. Depending on how well I fix the sleep schedule. So, y'all have a great night. And, oh, FYI, I am going to be, this weekend, I'm going to be updating the ending card to update people in the Just Saying gang, just to let y'all know. So, y'all have a great night, and remember, keep it real. Bye, y'all.
Cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, not fucking likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following bros, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of pain, turning losses into gains, I'm the boss, I'm making change. I've been rocking this exchange, popping off and risking things, gonna make a fucking name. I just wanna be famous, but I don't want that cheap fame. No, I'm not that vain, I just wanna be greatness. 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 Ain't no motherfucker in this world can do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste it, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking wipe me. Okay, I'm going off every chance I get. I don't really take a loss, well, I'll admit. That's why I'll make it to the top, yeah, I commit. I know I'm never getting lost, I get after it. Invested in my own stock, cause it's faster than any crypto hits go, let me spend. Everything that you see, something I invent. And it's only a percent. I'm gonna take shots. If I miss, don't forget it. I'll take a fat loss just to learn all that's in it. I'm taking snapshots, learning how to fall and get it. I'm getting back up, always stand tall, don't sweat it. I never back up, I don't miss a thing or regret it. I'm always learning, you could call me academic. I'm always working, never been apathetic. That energy is like a poison, needs a man, a septic.